Hello and welcome to the United Stand. FC Basel 1, Manchester United 0. And look, it's just so disappointing. We'd spoken about this for so long that just get the point. Get the point tonight, and then the Moscow game, which is 3 or 4 days before the massive game against City. You can rest everybody, play the kids, play the reserves, and we get a week off. And we blew that opportunity tonight through arrogance. Total arrogance. Basel were poor. Absolutely poor. But if you invite a team onto you that needs to win, they will get their good chance, and they scored their good chance. And how ironic it was that throughout the game on the watch along, we were all saying United are awful down the fullbacks tonight. We saw it at the start and we saw it all game. No pace, no creativity, no idea. And the cross comes from the right that Darmian doesn't cut out, and Blind loses his man on the left. And I feel sorry for Smalling and Rojo. Rojo was my man of the match, I'll give it you now. Smalling was very good. But those two, they need. I said 3 days ago, sell them. Not because I've got nothing against them, but because people will actually buy them and give us money for them. I'd definitely get rid of them now. What do they offer Manchester United? If they can't come into a game like that and, you know, see us home in a game against a team like that, very disappointing. And if you're Luke Shaw, you must be thinking, why? Why am I not playing as left back? You know, I actually can get forward and bomb on. And, yeah, disappointed. Really disappointing, because that goal doesn't need to come in. It's no surprise to me that when we take off our two best flair players, we just disintegrate. We had no pace, we had no creativity. I mean, I like Matic and I like Zlatan, but they're not quick. You take Pogba, you take Martial off, and you take Lingard off, and there was no pace. There was no pace and there's no flair. And yet again, we see that United, without Paul Pogba, and especially without Martial as well, we are nothing. I mean, people had the bravery on the watch-along to say Martial was poor tonight. What do you want Martial to do in a team where he's got no fullback and he's got 3 up against him all the time, and he absolutely put 2 crosses on a plate? Martial should be walking out of there with a big grin on his face, with another 2 assists on his stats, and United qualified, and thinking I'm having the week off before the City game. Now he's like, I ain't got any assists, and I'll probably have to play in that game against Moscow to get us through. Because Fellaini, I'll tell you what, Fellaini gets a lot of credit for his effort levels, but tonight, how many headers do you want? You're in the team because you're tall. You had 3 good headers. You've got to score one of them. I'm not going to say he should score all 3, because maybe he should have done, but he's got to score one of them. And Lukaku as well. Free header and a one-on-one. Doesn't score. We score either of those, there's no way in a million years Basel are scoring 2 goals against us tonight. We had countless chances to score a goal tonight. We score 1 goal, we go through. We go out because we didn't score, and Basel went for it at the end, and they got a goal. Really disappointing. And there will be people saying Mourinho out, Mourinho this. You know what? We were 3 minutes away from me smiling and saying what a very professional performance that was, and that's why I'm frustrated. But I think he got his substitutions wrong, and it's something we've spoken about Mourinho a few times, and it is one of my pet hates, that his substitutions are not the right substitutions to make. He makes the same substitutions because it allows him to keep certain people on the pitch and give people off the bench some running time. Normally it's Mata every 70 minutes, no matter how well he's playing, Mata comes off. And it's always Martial or Rashford. Whoever's on, they're always coming off on 70 minutes as well. Tonight, it should have been Lukaku. He was dreadful tonight. I like Lukaku. I'm not one of Lukaku's haters. I think he's really good for us, but he will have bad games. And tonight he was rubbish. He missed 2 good chances. His build-up play was rubbish. Why are we putting him on the wing to take Martial off to accommodate Zlatan? Zlatan needed to come on, no problem with that. Lukaku should have come off. Put Zlatan up front. Rashford and Martial on the wings. We've got something on the bench. We've got something on the wing. We've got some flair. We've got some pace. As soon as we took Martial off, Basel were like, no Pogba, they've got a slow midfield now, they've got nothing up front, let's go higher up, because they've got Rashford and Lukaku on the flanks and Zlatan's got no pace. They step up 10 yards. How many times have I said this about Zlatan up front? The downside of Zlatan going up as the number 9 is defences move up, they pressed us and they kept hitting us and hitting us and hitting us, and eventually I thought they'd run out of time. They didn't. They put it in the back of the net, they win the game, and I'm just really disappointed by it, because we didn't need to do that. And I think there's an aspect where people will be saying, well, nobody better be blaming Martial. People are blaming Martial. Sit down. You're drunk. I don't know what you've been drinking through that game. What is Martial meant to do? He had 1 chance where he was absolutely world class to get past 2 players, and from an impossible angle he nearly scored. And then, as his job as a left winger is to do, create chances, he creates two chances on a plate, and the people on the end of them don't score. What more is Martial meant to do as a winger? I thought he was one of our better players tonight. Rojo, Martial, Blind, Romero played well, and Smalling tonight. The rest of them, you know, Herrera did okay. Fellaini didn't do enough. Lukaku was poor. Lingard was Lingard. Darmian and Blind, I don't know what the point in them is. I'm just very, very frustrated. But for those people who want to have a pop at Mourinho, in fairness to Mourinho, I think he gets his substitutions wrong, and he invited Basel on, which was a mistake. But Mourinho can't put the ball in the back of the net. And we had, I can think of at least 3 goals we should have scored tonight, and we didn't score 1. And if you don't score those chances, a home team who needs to win is likely to get a chance, aren't they? And they did, and they scored, and it's embarrassing. But you get what you deserve, as many people are saying. You get what you deserve when you don't put your chances in the box, in the back of the net. You get what you deserve. And also, I think Mourinho sort of did revert to what he probably always will do in that last 20 minutes, which was let's go a little bit defensive. But having said that, Pogba was always going to come off, wasn't he? Pogba was always going to come off. And when he does come off, we see what we see for the last 2 months. When we haven't got Pogba, we haven't got any creativity. And people might be saying, well, where was Mkhitaryan tonight? Where was Mata tonight? Well, where was Mata tonight? I don't know. Mkhitaryan's not really done the business, so he's been dropped. I think it's a shame, because I think Mourinho is... I'm not even going to criticise Mourinho, but he is... You know, there were United fans in the international break who, let's be polite and say they've got concerns about him. Tonight will only help those. And it's like, he's not a 2-step forward, 1-step back manager at all. You know, I would be generous and say that Mourinho's a 3-step forward, 1-step back. I mean, they've wheeled Daley Blind out now for an interview. I thought, you leave, mate. Just go. You're finished. You're absolutely finished. How slow can you be on that back post? And that player who scored it, he's no Speedy Gonzalez, but he gets there ahead of you, Blind. And he got ahead of you. That same player hit the bar as well. I mean, Blind, oh, he's got to go. He's got to go, and we'll get some money for him. And the same for Darmian. They were both at fault for that goal, and they were poor throughout the game, and they've got no pace, and they've just got to go. I know it's hard to say that about fellow professionals. I'm not a professional. Oh, they've wheeled Darmian out with him as well. It's Car Crash TV on BT. I can't believe what they've done. They've actually wheeled Darmian and Blind out for the post-match press conference, post-match interview, and they're the pair of plonkers who've just cost us the bloody result. You two are the reason we can't play the kids against CSKA Moscow now. In fact, you two would you probably did it on purpose, because you know you're going to get a game, don't you? Darmian, Blind, were they walking in their sleep? Says D's TV. Look, at the end of the day, let's calm down a little bit. We'll beat Brighton on Saturday. Of more concern are teams like Watford and Arsenal, but let's be honest, Rashford didn't start tonight. Matic didn't start tonight. Valencia and Young and De Gea didn't start tonight. Did we miss De Gea? No. I'd say the 2 players we missed the most tonight were Valencia and Young. That pace down the flanks to support the wingers and bomb on was just non-existent, and you do need that to force teams back. But on the bright side, if we'd won that game 2-1 like we should have done, or 2-0, because I don't think Basel would have scored at the end, we'd be saying what a great result it was. The thing is, in football, if you don't take your chances, there's every chance that's going to happen to you in the last minute. So you get what you deserve in football, and we got what we deserved. We had the chances to win it. I'd take it. You know what? I'd agree with all the negativity. If we turned up there tonight, we'd park the bus and then we lose it at the end. But actually, we didn't turn up. We didn't do that. We turned up. We dominated in the first half. We created lots and lots of chances. We didn't score any of them. And then lo and behold, Basel get a good chance and they score and they win it. So, yeah, disappointing. Very disappointing. But there are massive issues with the squad. And I suppose at the end of the day, if you want a positive, it will only highlight, hopefully, to Mourinho and the board that we need to sign some players. And also, what it should highlight to the board is, don't for 1 minute think that Fellaini's worth 120 grand and beg him to stay. If he won't sign a contract, let him go, because tonight he showed exactly what he is, a decent squad player, but he ain't a 200 grand a week player. And if we've been stupid enough to let his contract run down, and he's now saying to us, quite rightly, give me 200 grand or I'm leaving because I'll get a 10 million signing on fee in Turkey or in PSG is reported. I'm sorry, let him go. You cannot play a player like that 200 grand a week. He needs to step up tonight. He's had 3 crosses put onto his head, which is his asset, and he misses them. And the Martial one was the worst. The Martial one was the worst. But in fairness, Lukaku had 2 good chances as well. He's got to score those. For the price we paid, he's got to score those chances. 6 shots on target, no goals. It's not good enough. And there were good chances as well. So I think it's a culmination of things. I think Fellaini and Lukaku are very culpable tonight for not putting the ball in the back of the net. And I think Darmian and Blind are very culpable for being poor on the goal and poor throughout. And I think Mourinho, if we are going to blame him for anything, I think his subs were wrong. Lukaku should have come off for Zlatan and keep Martial on, because it gives you something. It gives you some flair, which we lost. The minute Martial and Pogba came off, we invited Basel on, and we obviously didn't have the defenders in them fullbacks to stop them scoring. I think Blind was lazy and caught out twice. So, very disappointed. But big game at the weekend against Brighton. We focus on the league. And unfortunately, looking at the Champions League group now, we've got 12 points. Basel and Moscow have got 9. We need to finish top of this group. We'll have to put a decent team out against Moscow. A few days before the City game, we could have been resting. That is the enduring thing that frustrates me the most, is that we would have qualified top of our group if we just kept that clean sheet tonight. And Moscow game wouldn't have mattered. We could have rested all sorts of players. Now we're going to have to play them a few games before City. Very disappointed. Very disappointed. But Rojo gets my man of the match. And you know what? I don't think it's meltdown. I don't think it's meltdown. I think it's a few bad decisions. I think it's a few bad selections. And I think it's bad finishing from Lukaku and Fellaini. And ultimately, it's cost us. But hopefully this means we'll make some changes in January. I'm certainly not melting down. I just think I see it as it is, as many people do. And I'm very disappointed. So thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're closing in on 150,000. And let's have a quick look at something else as well. I don't agree with anybody saying Mourinho out, by the way. If Fellaini and Lukaku score those chances, we've won that game comfortably. I do disagree with his tactics in relation to taking Martial off. I don't think you can do that. Darmian Jones has made a contribution. He says, 1 positive, Rojo was a beast and more attack-minded. He was fantastic. Moses said, oh no, that was something else. So, thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you all very soon. Back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And don't forget to drop a like. Give us your comments. What I really want is people to give their comments. I know you can't on the live, but maybe come back later. And tell us what frustrated you most about that game tonight. Because I think there's a few things and it'd be interesting to see what people have got to say. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all soon.